problem is everybody has millions of followers, but they don't monetize us. Whether it's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, you only get a fraction of every click over every stream. Eminem, for example, he has 100 million followers on Spotify, and he only made 50,000 last year. So I thought, okay, let's focus on crypto infrastructure. What is it that a country or a town or a company needs in order for them to make the most out of crypto and blockchain? As a matter of fact, we're doing something like this in an African country. We are tokenizing a gas field. This is why I love working with people who are not only visionaries who understand it, but they are doers.
Tokenization is literally going to change the world. Whether it's content creation, whether it's banking, whether it's real estate, it's taking over in a big way. Now, a lot of us are sleeping under a rock and saying this will never happen, but trust me, it's already started. And my guest today, Sebastian Huth, is going to explain exactly how that works. Please welcome my guest to the show, Sebastian Huth.
Let's say you have a new property here in the UAE. Is it a skyscraper with, let's say, 1,000 apartments or something? You want to tokenize the entire building. Once you create the token, you can offer this to people to buy this and then have liquidity in the market. This is the cool thing about tokenized marketplaces. It's all about accessibility.
What's so good about that? Why can't I just do it the traditional way?
There aren't really any tokenized marketplaces for real estate yet. I think the UAE could position themselves as number one in the tokenization of real estate assets or any other assets in the world.
Well, welcome back to the show again, Sebastian.
Thank you. It's really nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. Last time you came on the show, we talked all things crypto, what was going on in the world, how it was kind of evolving and people were learning more about it. But as the years have gone on, it's just got further and further kind of infiltrated and cemented into our lives and our brains. And there are still people walking around going, well, I'm not sure that'll happen, but far less than before.
That's right.
And before we were talking about things such as Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana, all this kind of stuff. And nowadays we're talking about the blockchain in a different way. We're talking about tokenizing assets. And that's something that wasn't spoken about a few years ago. Or if it was in the world of the people that really understood it.
Yeah.
Real estate being tokenized, I think, is now something that's very real and lots of people are getting involved in it. So tell us what's going on in that world. Okay, give us an understanding about that and maybe give a backstory for the people that didn't watch the previous episode, so they know a bit more about you and then what you've learned about that along the way.
All right. Well, I got into crypto in early 2013. I bought my Bitcoins at 66.99 cents. I looked it up on the blockchain later. I didn't know it was 66.99 cents. I didn't do much with this for the first 2 years. I was actually keeping it on an exchange, which you shouldn't do. Don't keep your crypto with exchanges. And then I realized in 2013 was at the end of the year was the height of the bull market. And then in 14, 15, everything sort of went into the bear market. Everybody said, okay, bubble burst and all that. And then in 2016, the market picked up again, and all of a sudden people came to me and said, oh, we know you have Bitcoin, can you talk about this? And I said, okay, I will try. So, talk to 10 people, to 20 people, to 50 people, then 100 people, then 500 people, then 1,000 people, and then all over the world. I'm not on social media. Everything was just word of mouth, and I was invited with, TV shows and radio and all of that and big stages around the world. And I saw there was a big need for education. I think there still is. I think people, unfortunately, in the crypto world, still only know the basics. Let's put it this way. And I made a lot of mistakes myself. Buying crypto, holding it, staking it. And I actually fell for scams myself, whether it was multi-level marketings disguised as crypto, or whether it was, stealing private keys and everything, because there was nobody there to teach you, you have to do this and you have to do that. I had no idea. And then the more people ask, I created a workshop program for beginners class, advanced classes, and recently also crypto exit classes, so people to deal with that, because people simply don't know how to do it. And in 2018, founded the company here in the UAE, Lionheart Global, focusing on crypto infrastructures, because in 2017, at the height of the next bull market after 2013, everything went cold again. 2018 was a disaster. 2019 was even worse. The crypto blockchain companies around the world, they were really struggling. They had no jobs, no orders, nothing. They had people to pay. Crypto went down. Everybody was sort of in a bad mood. But then I realized that, what is it? In the gold rush back in the US a couple of 100 years ago, what was it that people were looking for? They were looking for gold, but only few people found the gold. But the people who were actually making money were the ones who, selling the shuffles and the jeans and all of that stuff. So I thought, okay, going into, let's focus on crypto infrastructure. And I was thinking, okay, what is it that a country or a town or a company needs in order for them to to make the most out of crypto and blockchain? And there's not only blockchain, not only crypto, but there's a huge variety in blockchain. So we were, I created a master plan on what do companies and governments need to basically go full into the market and make the most of it. So I've been advising a lot of banks here in the UAE, in the GCC, investment companies, ministries, a lot of ministries in the area, central banks, and for many years since 2018, I've been talking about the not only crypto but also blockchain itself. And there's, blockchain is being adopted in over 100 or more industries around the world, So I think crypto was only the start, and I think it's only the tip of the iceberg. But I think what's coming now is the tokenization of real world assets. And for all these years, and talking to people, nobody really understood it. People said they would understand. They saw this as a big thing, but nobody really wanted to move. But now it almost feels like everybody's moving. Everybody just wants to be, number one. And yes, that is definitely the tokenization of real estate, but also tokenizing of any kind of assets, anything, And I believe one of the reasons why the tokenization of real estate market is so big at the moment is because it is simply one of the biggest markets in the world in either way.
Well, we've got a lot of real estate here in Dubai, lots of property being built. It's a very, very busy market.
Yeah.
How do you tokenize a property?
A token is a sort of a cryptocurrency run on a particular blockchain. Whether it's a token run on Ethereum or Polygon or you name it. There are dozens or hundreds of blockchains out there. Everybody can create a token. Creating a token takes only 2 seconds. Anybody can create a token for a property. The idea or the question is, who wants to buy that, or what purpose does it serve? I think, and I've been here for the last 5, 6, 7 days, and, I talked to a lot of people about this. We are in the process of tokenizing some very big real estate properties at the moment, which unfortunately I can't talk about, but really big. You're talking about billions worth. And I believe that what's happening here in the UAE is a game changer. And the way things are progressing will be, I think the UAE could position themselves as number one in the tokenization of real estate assets or any other assets in the world very, very quickly as number one. So how do you tokenize? You need obviously, you need a platform. You need some sort of software that makes it happen. There are dozens or hundreds of companies out there around the world, that do this. I've been working with a few companies in Switzerland that have been specializing on this. And remember, this is only a very young industry, and the first companies forming like this, that started in 2016, 17, 18. So that's like 5, 6, 7 years old. So basically, you have let's say you have a new property here in the UAE.
Mm-hmm.
You need to look at, okay, is it a skyscraper with, let's say, 1,000 apartments or something? Do you want to tokenize the entire building, or do you want to fractionalize it? So you have to look at what is the property. Is it a complex with hotels or casinos or anything? And then once you've done a feasibility study and actually look at what's needed and what's if there's a point, because you don't just want to tokenize something if you don't have a point of doing something with a token. So once you have a point, and obviously in the real estate, the point would be to create a smart contract in which you put in all the specifics of this particular property. The size, the how many tokens you want to create. Put all the specific instruments in there, and then once you create the token, you can have 1 or you can have 1,000, as I said. Then you can offer this to people to buy this.
How can they buy them?
It really depends on the company and what they want to do. What I would do, let's put it this way, what I would do, and this is what we're doing, is I would create not only possibility for people to buy a token and then keep it in their wallet, I would create a marketplace where this could be an internal marketplace that is only limited to the real estate developer, or you can say, okay, I'm a real estate developer, I want to onboard, or I want to talk to many real estate developers and put them into the marketplace, and then have liquidity in the market, have people be able to buy the token but also sell the token. I think that's the importance of it, because there, I would say there's several reasons why you want to buy a token. Either you want the apartment and the ownership title behind it, then you have the NFT in your wallet after you bought it, and then you have the ownership title attached to it, and then you can move into the apartment, or you can whatever you want to rent it or whatever. But for example, if you, and I think this is the cool thing about tokenized marketplaces, it's all about accessibility. So, if I was a real estate developer, I would create a marketplace, make it public all over the world, and say, okay, I have this really high profile property worth 10 billion and, fractionalized tokens, and I give everybody around the world access to buy it. Web3 style, you connect your wallet, you pay, let's say $1 million for an apartment, you have the token, and if you want to, you move in, or you rent it, or you can actually sell it 10 minutes later to somebody else on the marketplace, for an auction or for double of the price, for all these people that did not manage to buy the token of this, prestigious property.
What's so good about that? Why can't I just do it the traditional way?
There's you have to understand, I think we are still very early in the process. When you look at there aren't really any tokenized marketplaces for real estate yet. If you look at Binance, Crypto.com, and all these cryptocurrency exchanges, they have hundreds or thousands of cryptocurrencies or tokens that you can buy and sell on these exchanges.
Yeah.
I think that's coming as well for real estate, but any other asset as well.
Why? How is one thing, but why would you? I can understand if the apartment was broken down into lots of small chunks, not $1 million, because that's a whole apartment. But if I had $10,000, but I didn't have enough money to buy an apartment, but I could buy a share of an apartment, and there was a better way of doing that than going in with 10 of my mates, and all of the risk and the hassle involved there, then I can understand how that would make some sense.
It makes actually a lot of sense, and I would actually immediately go for it as well, because when you go on a marketplace, compared to buying property anywhere else, it will be much faster, much cheaper, more transparent, and more accessible. Let's say you are an investor in Mexico and you want to buy a property here. There's this whole paperwork around this. It will take time. But as a matter of fact, if you buy something on a marketplace, like a cryptocurrency, you can access anywhere from around the world, connect your wallet to the marketplace, and then within seconds you can buy and sell it. You can buy, you can sell, you can send, you can trade, you can do anything. And there's no faster, cheaper way to do it, and it's very transparent at the same time, so you can always see who bought it and who was it sold to.
Well, that basically means I haven't got to go through the process, think about it, of going to a real estate broker, finding their buyer, blah 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 blah, and the 30, 60, 90 days that could take. I'm essentially making that transaction like that
instantly.
That is far more appealing than the other way.
Huge.
And I suppose if markets were to shift, I also could get the benefit of getting out very quickly as well.
Absolutely. Again, if let's say you have only 1,000 tokens, behind each token there's an apartment, and if this is a property or something that is everybody around the world has been waiting for, they want to buy their their villa or their apartment there, and this is the only thing, and everybody talks about it, and let's say 10,000 people line up and only 1,000 people are fast enough to do it, then there could be some people say, you know what, I don't want to move in, I want to sell it because the demand is there. There's 9,000 people that did not have the chance to buy it. I can buy it for double, or I can give an auction. So there's a lot more money to be made with this, and also for the real estate developer, you can actually implement royalties. So you can actually see, okay, I sold this for 1 million to this person, and then this person sells it for 2 million, but I'm still receiving royalties on the sale. And then they say, okay, I'm going to sell it to another one, and to another one, to another one.
So that's just being some terms and conditions being built into a contract to make that beneficial for the person that was originating.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So I can see how that could work. Can you do that with cars?
Anything. We are, and again, unfortunately, I can't talk about what we are tokenizing, but there's a very luxurious car brand that only has a limited amount of cars. We're in the process of creating we're going to tokenize their cars. We are creating a marketplace for them, and then anybody in the world can basically connect their wallets to their marketplace, and they can buy and sell whatever they want to.
Is it Mansouri?
No.
Would you tell me if I guessed it right?
When the camera's off, yeah. Otherwise, I'm being executed. No, but anything and everything will be tokenized. I mean, Larry Fink, BlackRock, everybody knows about him. Same thing as Jamie Dimon. Like a few years ago, 5 years ago, they were completely against crypto and blockchain, and now they're talking about, again, crypto's only the tip of the iceberg or the beginning, but there's a whole multi-trillion-dollar market waiting for anything and everything to be tokenized.
So let's say I wanted to tokenize a mining exchange in Africa. Is that something we could do?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, we're doing something like this in an African country. We are tokenizing a gas field. If even ADNOC, I don't know if ADNOC has thought about tokenizing their oil or gas, but other people are not waiting. And this is why I love working with people who are not only visionaries who understand it, but they're doers. Many people out there, they say, oh yeah, we love it, it's a great idea, it's going to happen, but nobody actually takes the initiative and says, okay, let's do this. And I'm now finally I've found the right people who actually understand it, and now it's going to be a gas field will be tokenized, huge gas field. It's going to be a commodity exchange. Came to us.
Yeah, but if that, say that happened, I'm sitting there and I've got my my $50,000 sitting in my Binance or my Crypto.com account. If that's me, and I'm like, oh, that looks good. I'll see what Sebastian's talking about. That's interesting. I think I'll take $10,000 worth of my Ethereum. I think I'll get some of that. How would I go about actually doing it?
Well, it really depends on how these platforms operate, on what they choose to go with. But if I was and again, there's no platform that actually does it yet. It's still in the process. But what we are building is here, or what I would do is I would create a platform that is accessible through a phone, tablet, and also through the website, as a Web3 decentralized application where people can use their Web3 wallet, connect their Web3 wallet to this platform. Then you basically have the assets in your wallet to be able to do to do whatever you want to do. To buy this car or to buy this particular token. You need a Web3 wallet, if they're choosing to do that. If there's somebody more careful.
Just keep that really simple. So I've got my Ethereum, I've got my Bitcoin, and it's on my Binance exchange. I haven't got it in my hard wallet. And I want to change it into something so that I can buy some of these tokens on this mining thing in Africa somewhere. What's the step-by-step process I would go to? I'd take it, put it into USDT, put it into my wallet, and then from my wallet, I would then buy the new token from my wallet wherever that token was accessible. Would that be correct?
Are you keeping any coins with any Binance or anything?
I have. Do you know what? I've got one Binance account. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. What I started with at the very beginning, about 10 years ago, that I put $10,000 in, but I forgot all the details about it.
You're not the only one. But first of all, just to come back to your question, nobody out there should actually keep any coins, tokens, assets on any cryptocurrency exchanges because you don't own them there. They are basically so-called custodial wallets. They are controlling your private keys. If something happens with them, like with, we talked about this earlier, the Swiss exchange Swissborg was hacked about 4 weeks ago, then you lose your coins. So everybody listening, you should actually create your own wallet, soft wallet or better hard wallet, and then move your stuff there.
However, it's a USB stick if it's a hard wallet.
Well, it looks like a USB stick, but it's not like that. But if you wanna act in the world of Web3, then you have to have a Web3 wallet to do that. So, which means, something like MetaMask or so, don't forget to write down your private keys, secure passwords and all that, because people, you have no idea. I was speaking at a crypto conference just a few days ago, thinking that everybody has crypto or knowing that everybody has crypto. And then I was asking like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions. And I just knew that only not even half of the people knew the basics in securing their coins. They don't know what private keys are and all of that. But sorry for coming.
So what happens if you've got your own wallet and you forget your keys?
Well, if you have a wallet on your phone and you lose your phone, you can buy a new phone. You can download the app of the wallet. But if you don't have your recovery seeds, which is usually 12 or 24 words, or if you don't have your private keys, you will not be able to recover your wallet. Which means you don't have your coins in the wallet. You only secure the keys in the wallet. And if you don't have recovery seeds or the private keys and you didn't write them down and keep them offline, and you're losing your computer or your wallet, then you will never be able to get in there. And I was just doing a research about, I think this happened to over 2 million people that basically, forgot their passwords or their private keys and they never secured them. And there's so many cryptos basically lost in space forever because nobody told them how to do it.
Okay, folks, let's talk about real estate. Now, a recent partnership that we've just established on the podcast is with AYS Developers. Luxury properties with high-end finishes from people that really understand the subject. Often in Dubai, you'll find stuff that is maybe substandard. With AYS Developers, you're not going to see that. You're going to see fantastic properties that you can buy, you can invest in, you can make a home on Dubai Islands and other places too. So go visit aysdevelopers.ae and check them out. I promise you it'll be worth the trip. That's interesting. Yeah. So learn that for sure. Okay, you seem to be quite confident that the world is evolving to a place where the only way in 5 or 10 years' time that we will buy will be this new digital way of doing things.
I think the 1% is creating the infrastructure now for the 99% to follow. I think that in a few years from now we're all gonna open up our mobile phones. We are going to go onto a platform that might be only for real estate. There might be a platform for commodities. There might be a platform for shares. There might be platforms where you have everything combined in there. It's sort of like when you have like with ChatGPT and Grok and all of this, and now you have sort of pools where you can access all of them, or you used to have like Netflix and Hulu and all of that, and now you can buy packages and you access all of them. I think we're going in a direction where in the future you're going to open up maybe one app and there's everything in there that you want, and then you connect it with your wallet, and then you're going to go and buy this token and sell this token, whether it's a commodity, whether it's in real estate, whether it's a car, or anything, and you can buy and trade. I think that's the future.
Amazing. You reached out to me about 2 months ago, after not speaking to you for a while, with an opportunity to get involved in something. You're like, Spence, you really need to hear about this.
That's right.
I think it's going to be really valuable. I'm not going to ruin it by trying to explain badly exactly what it is, but could you explain what it is and the impact it has on both creators and consumers?
Yes. About a year ago, I was in Abu Dhabi because I going back and forth, and I met a friend of mine. Her name is Larissa Miller. She worked for the royal family in Abu Dhabi for over 8 years. She was responsible for international investments and all that. And she actually came to one of my big talks in Dubai in 2018. So we've been friends ever since. We've done some blockchain projects with in different countries, different governments and stuff. And then last year we met. And we were spending the day going to through the desert to align. And then she talked about her latest project, her first own project. I mean, she talked about AIR. AIR stands for Artificial Intelligence Radio, and it's the first AI audio platform with a social media component. Think of TikTok, but with audio, and think of Spotify, but with a social media following. And we were talking about this. We were riding in the car. There was a business partner, friend of mine, also Sebastian. I'm the second
Gee,
Sebastian.
man, how many
it's
Sebastians
like,
are there in the world?
forget it. So we were all sitting in the car, and she talked about it, and she's like, there's something missing. There's something missing in the platform, and the moment she mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, of course I know what's missing, and that's blockchain and cryptocurrency. So we have been basically incorporating blockchain and cryptocurrency into the platform. Different ideas to totally redefine streaming. And yeah, the platform is already live for over 2 years. We have not done any marketing whatsoever because the in-house technologies, mostly AI, is still being implemented and being finalized now. But we already have about 1 million people streaming day by day globally, and people found it organically. And then because I've been, doing, crypto blockchain workshop education and all of this, I really like the project. And so I joined the project, and I'm part of AIR now. And I love the idea. I love music. But it's not only about music, but it's about any kind of high quality content. Whether it's music, whether it's education, whether it's podcasts, whether it's walking through the Smithsonian Museum in the United States, walking through a zoo. It's about an audio experience that doesn't exist yet, and it's basically you have. We've been run over by content creators. We have some very big stars like Emmy, Grammy winning artists, of which I'm not at liberty to say again, but some very big names. I shared some with you, but I can't say publicly. But we have some of these have 100, 150 million followers on Spotify, and we have many of them, like really big names, really cool guys. And the idea is to bring social media into audio streaming, and with the AI behind it, that really helps every content creator to see, who's tuning in, from where, at what time, what age are they, what's their background, and then they can basically adjust everything according to the needs of the customer.
Yeah, but how do they make money that's different to how they were making money before?
The platform has a very big focus on quality and monetization, also on keeping everything positive. We don't want any toxic language in anything. But there's a very brand new revenue share model that works with advertisement, but in a way that it's non-intrusive, and the monetization aspect is in a way that it is quite astonishing compared to any other platform that is out there.
Well, how does it? Well, you get to the bottom of this, then tell me how.
Well, people always, there are different tiers in the subscription model. If you have 100 daily listeners, you would be making so and so much money off advertisement. If you have 10,000 listeners, and if you have 100,000 listeners, you make so and so much money. It's a lot of money, and people always ask us, like, okay, where does all the money come from? And we're like, well, this is what the advertisement company pays all the other big guys, but they don't share it with the content creators. I was talking to this friend of mine. He has he had 850,000 followers on TikTok. And the first thing when I picked up the phone, and I didn't even tell him about AIR yet, and he says, "Oh, I just got on the phone with TikTok, and I had millions of streams, and I'm so upset with them because they don't pay me." And I think that's the big problem. You know, you have artists like Eminem, for example. He has 100 million followers on Spotify, and he only made 50,000 last year. You know, and but so the monetization aspect is obviously a very unique selling point, and a lot of companies say that. We are, you know, a very big blockchain company is joining the you know, is you know, decided to have not only one channel but several channels. They will be the first. They're one of the biggest cryptocurrency companies in the world with the biggest following. But the problem is everybody has millions of followers, but they don't monetize us. You know, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, you only get a fraction of you know, you know, every click over every stream, and so. And when they heard how much money they
So
can make,
if I on YouTube get paid $1 per click, let's say, for the sake of simple math, how much of a multiple is it?
let's give the you know, let's put it in the way of you know,
Conservatively.
Eminem and you know, 50, you know, making 50,000 on
No,
Spotify.
not Eminem, because most people aren't Eminem. You can't take those big hitters as the example. I want you to take take me. What I get paid on my YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that, I get paid not a lot of money, in all fairness. What is different?
How many followers or listeners do you have usually, like around the world?
It's 337,000 on YouTube.
And are you at liberty to share how much you're making now on this?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Like how much a lot? Like
Hundreds.
hundreds?
Yeah, not a lot.
In a very conservative way, and I don't wanna mention any numbers, but you could earn tens of thousands times more than you would do now. You know, it's
I
a lot.
could or I will.
You would, yeah. And it's
So you're going to make me rich?
well, you've seen the you know, the different tiers.
You're going to make me rich?
How many? Of course, that's not the point, but it will be a side.
What do you mean it's not the point?
Because it's about what's your message that you want to deliver.
Is it?
Yeah.
Says who?
I know we talked about this the other day, and you
but
said
says
it's
who?
all about making money. But what if it isn't? What if you already have enough money and it's about
But that's
you
not
know,
most
bring
people.
the message?
But most people don't have enough money.
That's true.
Most
That's-
people
and-
aren't sitting there in their ivory towers. They're not sitting there in their private helicopters. Most people are just regular people.
That's right.
Trying to make a living. Kids are leaving school nowadays and they're like, my career, Dad, I want to be a YouTuber.
Okay, let's put it this way. Our platform is designed to give any content creator, whether they have millions of followers or you know, hundreds or just thousands of followers, the possibility to really make a lot of money with you know, people streaming on their platform and listen to their high quality content.
Can anyone be a content creator on the platform?
They cannot. It's not like YouTube that everybody creates a channel.
Okay.
We've done this on purpose because we don't, like, for example, you know, a blockchain space, you know, you open up a YouTube channel, there are thousands of people, you know, opening scam websites and all of that. So we only want high quality content. And, you know, we basically listen to what they have, what they want to talk about, what they want to, you know, sing about, what they want to stream about. We will have, we call them hallways. There's going to be, we have, you know, mega churches, you know, already signed up. We have, there's going to be science hallway. There's going to be faith. There's going to be blockchain. There's going to be obviously music. There's going to be anything and everything, but high quality content.
Yeah, I get that.
And it will
So how many podcasts? I'm just trying to play devil's advocate with you.
sure.
Because I know that people listening want me to ask these types of questions.
Yes.
So how many podcasts are you going to allow on the platform?
We don't know
10,
yet.
100, 1,000, 1 million?
We don't know yet. It really depends. At the end of the day, okay, let me give you an example. This big famous crypto company, and I had no idea. We reached out to them, and it's very hard to get anybody in touch with crypto people. Everybody's very careful of scammers and everything. And you know, because I'm from this space, I told them, look, I have a community, you can look up my website and all of that. So they believed me, and we had a talk with the CEO and everything. He was completely astonished. And we are, you know, I told him about the example. We have there's a dog rescue woman in India, New Delhi. We talked to her. She has over 1 million followers on Instagram, but she doesn't monetize it. She's struggling to find people to donate, to help the dogs and everything. We told her on the platform, look, the channel is for free, by the way. She doesn't have to pay anything. Bring up the content, and then you can basically gather a global community into the platform. She loved the idea. Anything that she would be making, she would basically just bring in the people from other social media into the platform, and she could monetize that and help the dogs. And when we talked about the story, and I said, maybe we should do something together with them, and they said, the crypto company said, why only with them? We should do it with all of them. And I said, well, the problem is when you are doing like knocking on doors on cold sales, then nobody believes you. People are saying oh, you're scammers, because everything is being scammed at the moment everywhere.
Yeah.
All social media, people are getting millions of scam emails, scam this, scam that, everywhere. I mean, I'm the scam alert guy when it comes to crypto because I'm teaching people about this. But I was really surprised that people thought that we were scammers, because we were genuinely reaching out to non-government organizations to help the children, help this and help that organizations, and they don't even reply. And then I said to him, the crypto guy and the CEO, and he said, don't worry, they will all come. Because when they realize what's happening here, that there's a totally new way of monetizing this, and with the technologies that you have and the content you have, the positivity that you have, we're gonna put blockchain in for authentication of whether the content creator actually created that. Because when you go on social media, we talked about this earlier, you have all these AI generated videos. You don't know whether the person who's actually speaking, whether Joe Dispenza actually says that, or is it somebody else putting their voice on top of it to sell their products and everything.
I get that, but you have no way of absolutely owning the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a perspective from your angle.
Yeah. What do you mean in which regards?
In terms of what's AI and what's not AI, what was I mean, you can't sit and go through every single video, surely.
Of course not. Yeah. I mean, in some of the videos I'm looking at, is this real, is this fake? And then you're like, this can't be it,
Yeah. So nonetheless, that kind of thing exists. Essentially, you've created an AI-based platform where content creators can get a better return for their investment than using YouTube, right?
That's correct. Think of TikTok in audio, and think of Spotify.
What do you mean, think of TikTok? TikTok is audio and video.
Yeah, but it's mainly video. It's mainly video.
Which is audio too.
It's audio too. But in order for you to use TikTok, you actually need to have your phone in your hand and need to swipe it. Like same with Instagram.
Right.
According to the latest statistics is that video is on the downside, but audio is on the upside, because you can, plug in you go into the car.
You can drive and listen.
Exactly.
As you go,
whether it's driving, whether it's shopping and all this, all the other stuff. And this is the main focus. We can also implement audio into the platform, but that's not the focus. We want to be, we are redefining the audio space. All the big players, they looked at it and they were completely amazed.
So what's the calculation of making? I've got to get my head around this. For every 1,000 listens, downloads, views, you get a fixed price.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Well, there will be different tiers, So
for the superstars, they get a different tier to the regular people.
Everybody else. I mean, the channel, basically, we are broadcasting all over the world. So let me give you an example. We have we have a lot of radio stations from Europe that have contacted us, or that we contacted, our favorite radio stations, and they can just basically convert their their content that they have on the AM or VM into streaming, and they can basically stream globally into markets that they were never able to stream before. And some of these radio stations, they have hundreds of thousands of listeners, and they have a major problem because they're not making any more money. Advertisement is on the downside, and with our platform they can save up to 60% in their costs, and because we specifically created the platform that AI is in the background, but the people are in the front, and that's why radio stations love it. Soccer clubs, sports clubs love it, because we have a lot of big soccer clubs in the UK and Germany that we are talking to, that really want a channel, whether it's the Premier League or whether it's the second Bundesliga, because all of them have the same problem. they're all dependent on sponsors, local companies, and obviously the more sponsors you have, the more money you have, the more, players you buy and all of that. If you are like a second league, you're struggling because, you can't buy the goods, if you have somebody in-house, then they're being bought by the big guys. But they all have their followers, they all have their fans. And if you have 100,000 followers, 100,000 fans, you can mobilize them to give them a platform. Look, this is your own radio channel.
Yeah.
You can have your own, you can play your music that you play in the stadium.
Yeah.
You can play the music of your players.
Yeah.
You can have live live match broadcasting.
Yeah.
You can talk about your youth club. You're talking about your women's team. You can talk about whatever, sustainability, about anything and everything, and the AI basically helps you to translate that across the world, and so that you belong to a platform. It's not.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Once all of because my podcast is going to go onto this platform.
That's right.
Yeah, I asked you when we first spoke about it, how much content can you take? And clearly I've got a lot of content, 7 years of 52 episodes a year and everything else. Can you come back on the show and go through the platform with our audience?
The app is in the beta version at the moment, and as I mentioned earlier,
when will it move into full force?
The big channel partners that have signed on. I mean, we have government travel channels. We have big, singer superstars, sports clubs and everything. So they will be rolling out one by one. And then there's going to be a big global red carpet event in Nashville, Tennessee.
So if Maureen's got a channel where she cleans toilets and she's got an audience and she's got 500,000 followers and she makes a video every day of cleaning toilets.
It won't be video. It will be audio.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She'll be doing an audio of her cleaning toilets and interviewing people that clean toilets. It's like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you've got an audience and you want people listening to you.
If it's something interesting, I mean.
Yeah, but what's interesting to you might not be interesting to me.
Absolutely. For example,
you were talking to me about aliens before we started filming.
I did, yeah. And as a matter of fact, we have because I like the subject so much, I talked I contacted all these guys in the industry, whether it's Dr. Joe Dispenza or whether it's Tony Robbins, whether it's Michael Tellinger, all these guys, because I love their content and I would love to have their content on there because I think their content is so important, and I would like to listen to it, but obviously other people love listening to it, and I think people should get a platform, and also newcomers, new artists. There will be a channel for blind people. There's going to be a channel for empowering women. No, you kid. I'm not kidding you. It's basically giving bringing everybody in.
They never turn it on because they can't find the app.
Don't say that. They don't. You only have to ask somebody to play it for you, and then you put it on. No, I think it's there's a
Where is it? It's on the screen somewhere. Oh, bring me back my BlackBerry.
No, I think it's a cool project, and actually for the first
it's really cool.
I really like it, and Larissa is the CEO, and she's also the creator of the platform, and she was looking at her children playing listening or sitting in the living room, each of them having earplugs on, and everybody was listening to something else. But what the platform is actually doing is we want to have the followers belong somewhere and interact with one another. There won't be any toxic language. There will be geofencing. So, any country can say, okay, we don't want to listen to this. We don't want to hear, the F word or whatever it is. So every content creator can create their own platform of what they allow. And also every country can do that, which I think is really cool. And it's all about positivity and interaction. People can earn reward points, follow their biggest superstar, interact with one another, belong to one another. And you can check out the app. It's in the App and Play Store, but it's still in beta. So the new technology will be implemented, one by one. We're almost done. The big market launch is happening now, and you will have the first podcast on there, which I'm very happy because You will literally be able to stream globally on a platform where some big guys are. A lot of people will, if you're one of the early guys on the platform, a lot of people will go there and look, okay, who else is there and who's this guy? Like Spencer, what? Is that a hotel? And then and they can listen to your stuff, and then you can check it out, and then you can actually speak to your audience every day, live if you want to. You can like a radio program.
Yeah, like having a radio station. Yeah.
The soccer clubs, they can announce their radio club, their radio channel in the stadium, and say, okay, go download the app. You have a place to go. Why you listen to the local radio? Go and listen to us. The more people are streaming, the more money we're making, the better players we can buy. This is a platform from us to us. Radio stations, non-government organizations,
Yeah.
helping children, helping
Large companies, with
animals.
thousands of employees.
Huge. We have some big brands already signed on.
There's a company here I know. The guy's got 82,000 employees.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is what I love about it, and yeah, if anybody wants to have if you have a cool content, if you're an influencer, you have cool content. There's a marketplace included, and you can sell your products, your workshops, your books, whatever in the marketplace. There's going to be people that have only read their own books, or there will be book clubs. There will be any really cool content. We have some big soccer clubs. We have some big racing series. We have even car brands, like really cool car brands sign on, and there's a lot more. We were just talking to this one gentleman from the DMCC crypto blockchain hub, and I talked to him about Air, and I said, look, we need some more crypto blockchain companies, some good ones, crypto education, crypto news and everything. There's no platform like this. There's no home. There is no radio station for a soccer club. There's no radio station for a tennis club. There's no radio station for anybody can have their own place, and it's audio. It's your own station. You can do with whatever, and then you can see, okay, who's tuning into what and who's tuning out of what, and then you can adjust it, and the algorithm helps you to see that, and you can see, okay, last night this content was really good, and people will tune into your podcast, and they will, and then after a few weeks, after a few months, you will see, okay, people like this more, and then that, and then you know what to adjust if you want to do that.
What's the app called?
It's called Air, Artificial Intelligence Radio. If you go into the App Store, it's on Air now. If you want to go on the website, it's www.onairnow.ai.
Thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome.
Getting us excited about buying real estate through the blockchain, looking at AI and looking at these wonderful different tools. You're a man with so much knowledge and wisdom around so many valuable things we need to be considering for today and going forward. So I love it when you come on, and thanks for sharing all this valuable information today.
Thank you. Well, it's just technology, and things are developing, and I'm only here to spread the message. And I love music, so that's why Air. I love crypto blockchain. That's really cool. And if people like it as well, then yeah.
Thanks a million.
You're welcome.